Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bradley Blows, author of Before Boats, based on author's true story. Scene 4 Action. Remembering your dreams is like a muscle. If you don't use it, you gradually lose it. Every night before sleeping, take 4 to 5 deep breaths, then tell yourself that you will remember your dreams. Next, when you wake up, you will start thinking about what you had just dreamt. Write it in your journal. If you ever have trouble getting to sleep or you just want to begin to calm down, spell out RELAX in your head, thereby simultaneously focusing on the idea of relax becomes automatic. CHT Greek. Now Jay and everyone else. One, two, three, four, five. As always, his eye was open, wide awake. We don't want anyone walking around in dream state stumbling down any stairs. Human error accidents happen usually because of concentration of something other than the car they are driving or the machinery they are operating. Most human accidents can be avoided if people become aware of when they're going into a trance and snap out of it with these three words in silent utterance or aloud. One, two, three, four, five, eyes open, wide awake. These words constantly being recited daily will set a positive anchor in mind immediately associating with wakefulness. Tyrone teaches with his own words. Hypnosis seems like Einstein's theory of relativity meeting the vehicle Back to the Future. Rather than the screeching 88 miles per hour, 88% of the subject's subconscious brain is reached to reform the old conscious mind, like rolling back a computer's driver to the point before it got slow, let it go and move forward, being reformed by the renewing of your mind, as in Ephesians 4:23 to 25. Halfway into the night, friends Dan and Ursula take a walk outside onto the dock of the bay. Ursula asks, "So how fast can you solve the Rubik's Cube?" Dan avoids question. Your future husband is going to like that you're a teacher. If he does something wrong, he gets to try it over again. Ursula names Dan's comedy act. A quote from Rodney Dangerfield, ding ding. We can take it to the bank. Dan recollects, the hair on the dog that bites has the combination to take us back to school. I know about high school perspectives because I didn't grow up too fast. Joining the Marines for me was like signing for another 8 years of high school. After surviving that, I feel like I'm growing up. So what do you think about Brad and Minnie? Ursula answers, they are the dynamic hypnotic duo. What other couple can claim that? Dan says, thanks, Urs. You and I could not see each other for years, and the minute we meet up again, we'd be like siblings again. How about you go out with Donato? Dan walks away, rapping, extrapolating song. Bling bling, all around the world, Donato's the man, bling bling. Suburban driving en route to London Bridge Resort. Friend Tyrone turns on the TV stereo. We listen. George Carlin. Drug dealers are not afraid to die. Death penalty doesn't mean anything unless you use it on people who are afraid to die. Like the bankers who launder the drug money. Now, I don't care about capital punishment one way or another, because I know it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything except maybe satisfy a kind of biblical need for revenge. You know, if you read the Bible, you see that it's full of retribution and revenge. So really, capital punishment is kind of a religious ritual. It's a purification rite. It's a modern sacrament. And as long as that's true, I say let's liven it up a little. I honestly believe that if you make the death penalty a little more entertaining and learn to market it correctly, we hear a game show buzzer. We focus on the name tag on contestant Iron Claudio, who pressed the buzzer. Claudio Iron was the exchange architecture student friend from Chile. Diaz in mid-February 1998, Todd and Brad flew into Santiago, Chile to gamble at the President's Casino and be cupids in pursuit of chicas in La Ciudad Vino del Mar, amidst some native exchange students parading signs. Libre Pinochet. Contestant Iron Claudio. I'm going off on a tangent here, continuing the next step, attempting to prove that we just might be able to raise enough money to feed the 44,000 starving children every year in this country, as well as give them shelter and education so they don't grow up to become their abusers that put them on the streets in the first place. To repeat the cycle, forcing society to take action at a much higher cost than it would be if we help now. Bonnie Eve Dimble A beautiful lady filling out a deposit slip leans over the counter looking right to see her three friends accompanying her deal. She continues to endorse her check with her sharp-edged handwriting signature. Eve Thimble. Hey, what are the chances of me rolling a 9 right now and advancing to free parking so I can treat y'all to a suspenseful movie tonight? Horse sizes up Thimble's writing hand, ring finger, and peripherally views her signature being written. Horse states that. Hey is for horse, so that's me. Horse eats complimentary peanuts from the counter. Iron Claudio glances back at Leah. Let's iron out the details and find out. Leah Shuzi's sci-fi chick sounds off. I am the shoe rolling the dice, do the walking. Shu jostles the dice over the transaction counter. Nobody in the bank was paying this usual group any attention until the sound of dice is heard rolling down the transaction counter. Bank teller. I can help the next customer in line. Leah Susie's sci-fi chick with a sense of urgency. I rolled snake eyes. Iron Claudio rolled a 10. Horse rolls a 7. Horse. Thimble, are you going to sit there and sew a blankie? Thimble says nothing, only holds her hands out to catch the falling dice from Horse. As she walks backwards towards the teller, she tosses the dice on the table, turns and faces the teller. Iron Horse Shoe stare excitedly at the outcome of the dice to yell in unison, 9, ladies first. It's time to play Name That Movie. The teller is always content when this festive group comes into the bank. They seem to put people at ease from the mundane. Bank teller questions jokingly with Thimble. You only rolled a 9. Hat rolled a 10. Doesn't he go first? Eve Thimble yells, yeah, but today I've got a 9mm. Thimble pulls out a 9mm Beretta pistol from the holster under her skirt to jump up onto the counter. Horse eats complimentary peanuts, yelling, why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in a desert? There is no bread, there is no water, and we detest this miserable food. Hat had already dropped the security guard near the front entrance with his cane via tranquilizer gun. Customers nearest the 2 exits tried to flee, but the doors are locked, so they lay down. Dog barks. Good, everybody else down. This is not a bank robbery. This is a deposit to society. Everybody just focus on the First Lady Eve's hand-woven fishnets. Capture her sultry dance while we net the drug-laundered money for our homeless. Eve Thimble. Watch this. As Eve curl tails herself around, all the window shades automatically draw shut. And we hear music. Lights come on in the bank that now appears to be a game show. Run all the way to protect your view, bold letters and lights. Miss Banks says, welcome to the all-new Name That Tune Voice movie road trip version. I'm your hostess, Tyra Banks, filling in for Sam Kinison. Let's cut straight to the chase. The old movie projector shows the passengers through the camera in the Suburban watching this live via satellite with just as surprised faces as the captive bank audience. Horse. Name that chapter, Eve Thimble. Then the Lord sent fiery serpents among them. They bit the people, and many Israelites died. The people came to Moses and said, we sinned when we spoke against the Lord, against you. Pray that the Lord will take the serpents away from us. So Moses prayed for the people. She responds, what is Numbers chapters 21? Then, verse 8, the Lord says to Moses, make a fiery serpent and put it on a pole. Anyone who is bitten can look at it and live. Eve Thimble crazily holding up blue 9mm. The online login must be Moses. The passcode must be verse 9. Make a blue snake and put it on a pole. All of a sudden, the dry ice cloud floats up the bank counter, briefly covering everyone. When the dry ice cloud thins with the disco balls flashing lights for a moment, like the window shutters slowly opening to reality with the audience ewing in awe and like the munchkins when the good witch of the north first arrives. Only now do the people recollect that they are the witnesses to the most bizarre bank heist caper in history. Due to all of their testimonies of what they saw during the robbery, they didn't even know occurred. Obviously, the dog waits with the stolen police car running. The Thimble of Eve now no longer looks like Clyde's Bonnie. We see a montage of the 80s chip show while we hear the disco theme playing. The Thimble of Eve is now all of a sudden dressed like Bonnie of the California Highway Patrol. Bonnie is semi-calmly escorting Horse to the back door of the police car. Thimble grabs Horse's head like a basketball. Eve Thimble, watch your head, Mr. Ed. Hey, I called shotgun. Shu is now a Keystone cop who waltzes in front and rides shotgun. They screech out of the parking lot with sirens on, seeming to echo other sirens far away. Horse hitting the buzzer first. Actually, it was a bronze snake. Then when anyone was bitten by a snake and looked at the bronze snake, he lived. A boxing bell chime dings from the police car stereo speakers. Jeopardy hosts voiceover. All right, now don't worship a golden calf. Not being able to take a joke. We see angry beads of sweat running down Mr. Ed Horse's forehead. Jeopardy host voiceover. That completes the answer. Bad host. All right, let's stop horsing around. Miss Banks voiceover. All right, Mr. Ed, that'll place you in the lead. What category do you choose? Horse still upset. I'll choose the voice category for 2 million. Miss Banks voiceover. All right, roll the mixed up clip and maybe the contestants can go off on a tangent with it and improve it. Horse bangs his head on the door window like an old beginning of cops. Eve Thimble stammers. Stop horsing around. I know the rules say we're supposed to stop and start out with no money. Eve Thimble spanks Dog's butt. But what's the dollar amount of our rule change for our first trip around the board? Dog expounds. Who landed on free parking? Shu, looking in rearview mirror, answers. That would be hat to the back. Dog looks in rearview mirror and smirks with Shu at the sight of Hat trailing them with the armored car. Dog stammering like Scooby-Doo. Yo? Horse he hauls. Well, with the entire unmarked apples from the loaded bank vault, combined with the armored car grains, we are seeing more greener pastures than ever before. Eve Thimble, half complaining. All right, Mr. Ed, let's hear a dollar amount. Shu grabs Horse's jaw and moves it, talking for him. Leah, Shu's sci-fi chick, tallies the amount. Approximately 4 million. While the gang hoots and hollers about the loot, Dog turns the sirens and lights off and steps at a red light. Of course, they stop the car. They glance at the left as if to recognize the old Cadillac sitting next to them. She must be the little old lady of Pasadena. Not who they expected to see driving the caddy. The old lady hears their hooting and hollering and half glances at the police car. Then, surprisingly, she looks back at the police car puzzled because they are calm like saints now. The Melting Pot Mafia now head and eyes front. All of them are chuckling under their breath and knowing that the granny is watching them. The traffic light changes to green. They meet with Mr. Monopoly Hat, torch the police car, and ride off in the caddy. Dog off screen. Just like Granny's, only waiting in the driver's seat is the boss of the NPM, who amongst ourselves, we call Mr. Monopoly. We can't speak to him unless he asks us a non-rhetorical question. When he recorded us all, he noticed we were trying to get a look at his face that's always beneath his Dick Tracy looking mobster hat. And that is the end of this scene.